Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going behind the scenes of one of the most iconic musicians in history, Lionel Richie, and his amazing family. You've seen Lionel on stage, belting out hits like Hello and All Night Long, but today we're not talking about his legendary music career. Nope, today it's all about Lionel as a dad, specifically his three incredible kids, Nicole, Miles, and Sophia Richie. Now, being the child of a global superstar isn't easy. There's pressure, the media spotlight, and of course, living up to the family name. But each of Lionel's kids has carved out their own paths, facing challenges head-on and thriving in their own way. So sit back, grab a snack, and let's dive into the world of the Richie family and see what it's really like growing up Richie. Before we get into the details about Lionel's kids, let's talk about Lionel himself. He's been a pop and R&B superstar for decades, but he's also been a father just as long. And let me tell you, balancing a world tour with fatherhood is no easy task. Lionel had his first taste of fatherhood in the early 80s with the arrival of his daughter Nicole, and later he welcomed Miles and Sophia. But don't be fooled by his carefree demeanor. Lionel admits that being a dad requires just as much work and heart as his career in music. He's even called it his toughest job. When asked about his parenting style, Lionel has said that while he's fun-loving and spontaneous, he can also be firm when needed. It's all about balance, right? He knows how to mix humor with wisdom, and that's probably why his kids have such unique personalities. Lionel once said, "My kid's job is to scare me to death, and they're doing a great job." He's definitely had his fair share of shocking moments with them, but he always faces those challenges with love and a little bit of that signature Lionel Richie charm. First up, we have Nicole Richie, Lionel's eldest child. Now, you probably remember Nicole from The Simple Life, where she and her friend Paris Hilton pretty much took over reality TV in the early 2000s. But before she became a reality TV star, Nicole's story started in a unique way. She was born on September 21, 1981, and her biological parents were close friends of Lionel's. When they couldn't support her financially, Lionel and his then-wife Brenda Harvey stepped in and eventually adopted Nicole when she was 9 years old. Nicole and Lionel's bond runs deep, so much so that Lionel wrote one of his biggest hits, Ballerina Girl, about her. Talk about being a dad who wears his heart on his sleeve. But as Nicole grew older, her life got a bit more complicated. The fame that came with The Simple Life brought a whirlwind of attention, and she soon found herself caught up in some pretty intense personal struggles. From car accidents to arrests, Nicole faced some major issues with addiction. In a 2006 interview, she opened up about her reckless behavior, saying she thought she could get away with anything. But at her lowest point, she did something incredibly brave. She turned to her parents for help. Lionel stood by her side, helping her through rehab and recovery. It wasn't easy, but Nicole came out the other side stronger than ever. Now, she's a powerhouse in the fashion world, with her own brand House of Harlow and several philanthropic ventures. Plus, she's a mom to two adorable kids, Harlow and Sparrow, with her husband Joel Madden of Good Charlotte. And yes, Lionel is now a grandpa, though he prefers the much cooler name G-Pa. Fun fact: Lionel actually had to ask Nicole if grandpa suited him, but when she said it made him sound old, they settled on G-Pa. How cool is that? Next, we've got Lionel's only son, Miles Brockman Richie. Born on May 27, 1994, Miles is definitely the quieter one of the Richie kids. He's always been a little more private than his older sister, but in recent years, Miles has stepped into the spotlight in a big way. While Nicole went the reality TV and fashion mogul route, Miles is making a name for himself as a model. And get this, he's not just any model. He's walked for some major designers, including Philip Plein at New York Fashion Week. Miles grew up mostly with his mom, Diane Alexander, after Lionel and Diane divorced in 2003. He's a self-proclaimed mama's boy and often mentions how close he is to her. However, despite having a more private upbringing, Miles had his moment of controversy in 2019 when he allegedly made a bomb threat at an airport. Now, don't worry. Thankfully, it didn't turn into a major issue, but it was still a pretty wild moment for the Richie family. Miles was cautioned and released, and since then, he's kept a low profile when it comes to drama. Instead, he's been focusing on his career and working to build his own identity outside of his famous family. And let's be honest, it's no small feat being Lionel Richie's son. But Miles is determined to prove that he's more than just the Richie name. He wants to be known for his talent and his hard work, and from the looks of it, he's well on his way. Last but certainly not least, we have Sophia Richie, the youngest of Lionel's children and definitely one of the boldest. Born on August 24, 1998, Sophia grew up in the spotlight, often attending red carpet events with her dad and siblings. And while she dabbled in music for a bit, ultimately, Sophia decided she wanted to make her mark in the fashion world. And let me tell you, she did just that. By the time she was 15, Sophia had already signed with a modeling agency, and from there, her career skyrocketed. She's been featured in Elle, Marie Claire, and was even the face of Madonna's fashion line, Material Girl. But it's not just modeling where Sophia shines. She's also teamed up with brands like Frankie's Bikinis and House of Harlow to create her own clothing lines. And as for her love life, well, she's had her fair share of high-profile romances. Remember when she dated Justin Bieber? And then there was her relationship with Scott Disick, which had everyone talking due to their 15-year age gap. Lionel wasn't exactly thrilled about that one. He admitted that he just stood back with a drink in hand, hoping it was just a phase. But fast forward to today, and Sophia is married to music executive Elliot Grange, the son of Universal Music Group's CEO. In a dreamy 2023 wedding in the south of France, Lionel had the honor of walking Sophia down the aisle. And guess what? They even shared a father-daughter dance to My Girl at the reception. It doesn't get more heartwarming than that. So, what can we learn from Lionel Richie's journey as a father? Well, if there's one thing that stands out, it's his ability to balance his incredible career with being a dedicated dad. Through all the ups and downs, Lionel has supported his kids, letting them learn from their mistakes, while always being there to offer advice and love. Whether it's Nicole finding her path after some rough years, Miles making a name for himself in the fashion industry, or Sophia stepping confidently into her role as a model and new wife, Lionel's influence is clear. He's not just a legendary musician, he's a legendary dad too. And hey, who knows? Maybe one of Lionel's grandkids will pick up the torch and continue the Richie legacy in music or fashion. Thanks for joining me on this deep dive into the Richie family. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and ring the bell for notifications so you don't miss our next Celebrity Family Spotlight. Let me know in the comments, who's your favorite Richie, and which part of their story surprised you the most? See you in the next one.